Well, happy Mother's Day. This is Pastor Steve with another Mother's Day devotion. The title of this devotion is The Restorative Power of Forgiveness. I believe that one of the things moms do, and a lot of moms do this, my own mom did, is taught me about forgiveness, taught me about the restorative power of forgiveness that God brings. When I was about 10 years old, I was walking by the Piggly Wiggly store. You might remember those. I think they're still around someplace. And behind the store at this time, they had a lot of the glass soda bottles. You remember those days? Back then, they were turned back in after you used them for a deposit. And you get anywhere from, a couple cents to a nickel or a dime, depending upon the size. I remember thinking to myself, if I were to grab some of these returned bottles, I could turn them back in, and I might make some money. I can get some soda. And so I thought, well, let's give it a shot. So being, 9 or 10, obviously not the right thing to do, but I thought, well, this sounds like an idea. So I went ahead and tried it. Guess what? It worked. And I was able to make a few cents, and eventually I accumulated enough where I could go buy myself some Coke or a soda of some sort. Well, I thought I was doing pretty good there until a couple days down the road, I was approached by one of my friends who was watching me, and my friend said, "What are you doing?" And I shared my master plan here and thought, "Why don't you join me?" And my friend said, "No, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that." And I said, "Okay." And then my friend said, "I'm going to go tell your mom." Now, those are the dreaded words. I'm going to go tell your mom. So I was in a panic. I remember trying to be cool about it, and I went home, and I thought I better tell my mom first, because if she hears it from me, it'll go a whole lot easier. So I did. I told my mom, and she was very disappointed. And the first thing we did was walked across the street where the store manager lived. He was a neighbor, and I had to confess to him what had happened. So I did that. He, of course, was disappointed, and he knew this was a moment of teaching for a boy who needed to learn a lesson. And so I had to pay back what I had taken. I was grounded from going to the store for a couple of weeks. And at this point, I was pretty devastated. This was hard. This is not something that I would normally do. I remember going home, and I was crushed. I was at some point here sobbing and feeling unbelievably awful. And my mom looked at me, and I said, "I'm so sorry, Mom." And she finally took me and gave me a hug and said, "Steve, I forgive you. I love you. Don't ever do this again." And I just knew it was going to be okay. And at that moment, I learned a lesson. I think the lesson is something that is reflected in Colossians chapter 3, starting at verse 13. Let me read that. It says, "Bearing with one another and forgiving one another, if anyone has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you also must do." What an amazing statement. Here we learn about the importance of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the amazing gifts that we receive. And moms teach us about the restorative power of forgiveness when it comes to what happens in our lives as we approach the Lord. Another passage is from John chapter 20, verse 21. "So Jesus said to them again, 'Peace to you. As the Father has sent me, I also send you.' And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said to them, 'Receive the Holy Spirit.' And then he said this, listen, 'If you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven them. If you retain the sins of any, they are retained.'" Do you realize what just happened? Jesus gave us part of our mission. It's a spirit-guided mission. Moms, you have a mission. You have a mission like to bring to our children the amazing importance and power of the transforming power of forgiveness and of forgiving. I want to thank you, moms, for doing such an amazing work and for all that you do. Thank you for teaching us how to forgive and how to receive forgiveness. Moms, you're amazing. God bless you.